another edition of the Court Council. I am the Sovereign, and this is my court. We are gathered here today to discuss China. All of our lives have been upended because of China. And I'm saying China not because of Chinese people, not because of the Chinese population, not because of Chinese Americans or Chinese citizens, or not that China. I'm talking about the Chinese Communist Party, the party that runs the government of China. There's ongoing debate right now as to how much blame should be levied on the government of China. How much blame should these people take, and what should be the punishment for what they put us all through, basically. I did a video earlier explaining how the virus came to be, how it came about. If you don't know, just a super quick recap. The coronavirus originated from open air markets located in Wuhan, China. The Chinese government were the first government to come in contact with the virus, and then went about silencing the doctors that would have alerted the public and the rest of the world to the severity of the virus. Because of the blatant cover-up of the Chinese government, several countries are now looking to enact some sort of reparations from China, to punish them in some way. There is a lawyer that is suing China for trillions of dollars. The Italian government is coming after China. The US president is pointing fingers at China, which for once, that's something that I will agree with Trump with. The first thing I want to talk about is the United States president, and this has become a topic for debate amongst everyday people, and it came up on Pageant Planet, which I obviously follow, and the question was, did Trump deserve backlash for calling COVID-19 the Chinese virus? I did write an answer, but before I read off my answer, I just want an understanding where everybody is coming from, because I have seen on the internet stories of Chinese people, Chinese Americans getting backlash for being Chinese, which should not happen. This cannot be something used to demean an entire race. It is not an entire culture of people's fault for the coronavirus coming to be. This should not be used as an excuse for racism or xenophobia. From my side of things, that's how I'm thinking. This is not something to be used to demonize an entire race of people. I will read my response to Pageant Planet's question that was posted from my Instagram. It says, the only reason I would defend his use of calling it the Chinese virus would be to pin this catastrophe on the lapels of the Chinese Communist Party, who allowed poor sanitary and food handling conditions to persist, silenced those who saw and vocalized the issue, and kept vital information from the rest of the world. However, not to demonize an entire ethnic group. If it could be changed to the Communist Party pandemic, that would be fine with me, which I totally still agree with. To this day, I stand by my response, and from this point forward, I will be referring to the name of this virus, named by me, the Communist Party pandemic, because that's exactly what it is. No, it is not the fault of the Chinese public, the Chinese population, definitely not their fault. But the Chinese Communist Party suppressed knowledge of this pandemic and the severity of the pandemic, knowledge that could have helped the rest of the world prepare themselves or help the Chinese contain it. The United States offered to send in doctors, to send in support to help contain the spread of the virus. The Chinese Communist Party was not having it. They suppressed the number of deaths. They suppressed the severity. This entire pandemic can be laid at the feet of the Chinese Communist Party, not the people themselves. This is not a subject that I want to die, because I myself personally do feel like the Chinese government, the Chinese Communist Party, they are culpable to the damages that they have inflicted on the world. The Italian government is currently seeking damages from the Chinese Communist Party. They're going to the point where they want the Chinese Communist Party charged with war crimes. They're that serious. If you don't know, Italy is the hardest hit by the coronavirus. They have lost over 90,000 people, and they are much smaller than the United States. So just think about that, because I know the United States has a lot of cases, but the country of Italy is less than half the size of the United States. They have been ravaged by the virus, so their government is seeking damages from China. And then there's this ongoing debate in the United States, because I know that Donald Trump keeps using the virus and saying it's it's the Chinese virus, which I do understand why people have an issue with calling it the Chinese virus, which is why I'm gonna call it the Chinese Communist Party pandemic. That's what I'm gonna call it, because I do not think that they should be allowed to escape the backlash that they deserve for the damage that they have caused. This can definitely be placed at their feet. And to that, it does kind of irritate me, because you guys know I'm not the type of person that likes to choose sides. I like to view things fairly. Now, a lot of the stuff that Donald Trump does is not something that I can stand by and back. A lot of the stuff he does is just like, it's just outlandish. But in this particular case, when it comes to, I'm not Donald Trump himself, but the media, I have watched a lot of news, and I'm watching the media and people talking about the Chinese responsibility for the damage that it has inflicted to the rest of the world. And a lot of the media seems to be silencing people who want to blame China. They're going to the lengths of calling it racist. Blaming Chinese citizens, Chinese Americans, the Chinese like ethnic people, that's wrong. That's wrong. But silencing efforts to point the blame where it should be, which is the Communist Party of China, that is wrong. I don't understand how this is even a debate, and I don't understand why news channels are silencing this. I understand that they're trying to protect citizens, but I don't think most people I don't think most people are meaning it to be racist towards the Chinese ethnicity. I don't think most people are meaning it to be racist towards the Chinese people. I think that people really want to point the finger at where they see the blame, me included, Chinese Communist Party. I don't know at what point this situation is going to draw to a close. Is the United States going to stand against China and demand that those markets be closed? Is the Italian government really going to stand against China and demand that they be paid some sort of damages? I do think the government of China is definitely to blame and at fault for this. And even the people of China, their citizens, blame their own government, because even the citizens of China were not told the truth. And you can go watch my other videos that I've done on the subject. The citizens of China who knew the truth, they were silenced. They were not allowed to warn anyone else. The citizens of China are just as much victims as the rest of the world. Their government did everybody dirty. Everybody got done dirty. So this is nothing to do with the Chinese citizens. I feel just as bad for the Chinese citizens as I do for Italy and the United States. No one should have been forced to go through this. A lot could have been done. The deaths and the amount of deaths that is happening did not have to happen if the Chinese government had allowed other countries and other organizations to intervene and help them. It was their own arrogance, their own hubris that allowed this to spread. And I pray that they get some sort of punishment for this. They should not be allowed to escape freely. The United Nations to come together against them, the UK, the United States, Germany, Italy, everybody needs to deal with China. I just wanted to put everything into perspective, because I do understand both sides, and I don't think anybody has anything against the Chinese people or Chinese minority or Chinese ethnicity. I don't think that. I definitely don't. So if you guys later on in any of my videos hear me talk about the Chinese communist pandemic, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I do think that the Chinese government do know that they are in fact culpable for the damage that has been done to the rest of the world, because now they're out, of course, spreading propaganda, spreading lies that the US government and the US military is the one that started the Chinese communist pandemic. The US military is the one that started the spread. And it's just like, what, do we have a military base in China now? Like, y'all are so full of it. And they have their leaders, actual politicians in China, posting Twitter messages saying the people of Italy are so grateful for our help that they are playing the Chinese national anthem from their balconies. Like, what? Just blatant lies. Blatant lies. They know full well that they are responsible, and under no circumstances should anybody allow them to get away with it. So when it comes to the name, I understand people wanting to change the name. So for my videos in the future, I am changing the name because I do not want anyone to feel neglected or offended or threatened by calling it what Donald Trump was calling it. I understand that, but I do think it is the fault of the Chinese government. So Later on, future videos, I will be calling it the Chinese Communist Party pandemic. That is my official name for it, just to make sure everybody who deserves the blame gets it, but everybody who needs to be cared for is cared for. I'm gonna be fair about it. I am very interested. This is why I'm super interested in what you guys think on this situation. Obviously, Pageant Planet was very interested as well. There's lots of back and forth chitter chatter about it. So please, in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts are on, one, the Chinese government taking blame for the pandemic. Two, the name of the virus. Do you think that Donald Trump was going too far and using the name and calling it specifically just the Chinese virus, which I totally understand. You guys be nice to each other in the comments. You know I don't like bullies. Behave yourselves. You guys can disagree, but just behave. But yeah, let me know what you think, because this is a hot topic. I don't want the topic to die down. I definitely do think China owes the rest of the world. I mean, they haven't even apologized. There's just nothing is happening. As far as I know, it is still legal for those open air markets to exist. Like, what? Just what? Leave your comments below. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And if you are not a member of my court, if you would like to become one, please hit the subscribe button. We would love to have you. We convene here every week and talk about lots of different things. So join. In the meantime, please, everybody be safe. Take care of your family. Take care of your neighbors. Be safe. Obey the laws of your government. And please stay in quarantine. We have to stop the spread. And I want to see you all back here. I don't want to lose even one of you. You all mean the world to me. So be safe. All right. I love you. I'll miss you. And you know I will be back later.